Hi, I'm Sunny, and this is my podcast, Creator, Created, Creating. Short and sweet mindset shifts for intentional life creation. So let's talk about comfort zones again. I've mentioned this before a few times, and in a few different places. I'm trying to think. I mentioned a bunch of places this week and talked about kind of my perspective on comfort zones. But my perspective is, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this past week, but really for years, I've seen a lot of these messages of pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and the extreme value in get out of your comfort zone and push yourself out of your comfort zone, and nothing will happen outside of if you stay in your comfort zone. So you got to get out of your comfort zone. So I do not view it that way. I do not view it that way. I used to, because I just believed what I heard, and that's what people said, and I said, oh, okay. Now I'm of the mind that you need to fully honor your comfort zone, or at least that's what I need to do, and everyone else can decide for themselves what they need. But so honoring your comfort zone, what does that even look like? For me, it means that you can take your comfort zone with you no matter where you go, no matter what you do, and that you can access your comfort zone at the center of you, inside your body at any time. And that is something that you cultivate, right? You cultivate a sense of inner safety. You cultivate a sense of inner security by opening up that space in you, that knowing in you, and by soothing your nervous system responses and things like that, which can happen over time. But once you do have a feel for that place in you, that grounded, calm space in you that you sometimes get really outside of, but that you can come back to and access, then you know that your comfort zone is with you at all times, and that you can access it within you. It's not a place outside of you. It's not a group of people. It's not those things. It can look like those things because those things help you have access to a place in you that feels safe and secure. But once you reorient yourself to that safety and security that already lives in you, and you become powerfully aware that it's always and only in you, not actually out there, then you know that no matter what you do, no matter where you go, and no matter what happens, you can access that comfort zone. So there's no need to do this pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. Get out of your comfort zone. The more uncomfortable you are, the better it's going to be. And we've talked a lot about that this past week. And I think that's because this is a pattern that's wanting to shift. Now, as with anything, this is an and, not a but. So, yes, there's value in discomfort. We all experience discomfort of certain kinds every single day. From tiny, tiny, tiny discomforts to big ones, huge ones. And that varies, but we all experience discomfort sometimes, and the discomfort is activating. The discomfort is a signal of change and growth that wants to happen and is happening. Actually, it is already happening. That's why discomfort might come up. There might be the change is wanting to happen, so that process is already in place, and that's when you feel some discomfort. And, and you can access comfort with that at the same time as you are moving through that at any time. At any time. But when we're thinking like, okay, I need to push myself out of my comfort zone, I need to get out of my comfort zone, like that is burnout zone. That is exhaustion zone. That is overwhelm zone. And that is not kind to you. It's not honoring of you and your own boundaries for yourself and needs for yourself. And it's, yeah. So we need to bring in, or I would like to, and I do, and I am bringing in more honoring of my comfort zone. And when I do that and I think back on my road to success, I have always actually succeeded more in my business because of me honoring my comfort zone. It wasn't until I started honoring my comfort zone, like, yes, I pushed myself out of my comfort zone by asking for things that I wouldn't have asked for before, or etc., by setting up business boundaries that I wouldn't have had before, and then being uncomfortable that people might react to those negatively or whatever, like all those fears that come up. Yes, so yes, there was discomfort. But the more I honored my comfort zone in business, the more successful I became. So it was actually the opposite for me, or rather, it was both. It was both and. Okay? It was both and, but it wasn't by, if I had just done those pushing myself out of my comfort zone by like setting new boundaries in the business, like asking for a certain amount up front versus what I had done before, or not having contracts that people signed, or all of these different things that I did to create more stability in my business, having different, raising my prices and doing the work in a different way, hiring people eventually, things like that. I did those things out of honoring my comfort zone. So I was honoring my comfort zone, being like, you know what would be more comfortable to me? Not having to work around the clock. So I need to raise my prices. You know what would be more comfortable to me? Not having this payment, the down payment in full upfront, so that I have time and space to really dig into this creatively without any like rushing to get to the next stage of the project. Like, and I've shared about that in a previous episode. And I thought that was impossible because nobody does it that way. Most people at that time did like a 25% deposit or a 50% deposit. And then you would have to rush yourself to the stage where you get paid again. And that just wasn't going to work for me. I decided to make myself more comfortable. So I did. And I was. And that comfort led to more comfort. So, and then, but also by honoring my comfort zone, I prefer to just work from home, and I prefer to communicate via email. I don't love phone calls. I do not love meetings at all. I like people who like to communicate via email. That feels easy for me. It makes me feel comfortable in my hermit introvert self, and I'm going to honor that instead of pushing myself out of that. And once I honored that, that worked for me. All of a sudden, I got clients who were super happy to communicate via email, and they didn't want to meet either. I've had a client that I've had for 13, 14 years who I've never spoken to. Actually, I finally spoke to her last year, but we emailed all those years, and I loved it. That's how I liked to communicate. It worked for me. That was from me honoring my comfort zone. And I honored my comfort zone by saying, you know what, I don't want to work with people piecemeal anymore. It doesn't feel, I don't want to have to like keep getting these one-off clients that are like in and out, and then it's not very effective. I love working with people who just return to me again and again, and they have different needs, and they come to me for what they need, and then like I'm just like in their pocket, and it's easy and in flow. We understand each other. So that's when I set up my client retainers, my annual client retainers. That was about my comfort zone as well. And I just trusted, like, this is comfortable for me, and whoever else it's comfortable for, they're going to come to me too. So every amazing iteration of my business that I've been through, from like, making hardly anything to making multiple six figures, has been about me honoring my comfort zone and taking those steps that also make me uncomfortable, but taking my comfort zone with me and honoring my comfort first. That's really the point that I think I want to make here, is that I didn't put pushing myself out of my comfort zone in order to like be who I thought I needed to be in business above my comfort zone. My comfort came first because I honored my hermit self, because I honored my introvert way of doing things, because I honored how I wanted to feel within my business, because I honored what kind of relationships I wanted to feel within my business, because I honored those things that made me comfortable. Those things were created. Now, if I had honored the pushing myself out of my comfort zone more than that, then that's what I would have created more. I would have created a lot more feeling uncomfortable, maybe being successful. Yeah, maybe even being more successful. Who knows? But I would be uncomfortable in the whole process because I would be carrying this belief, like, when I'm really uncomfortable and I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I am doing better. I'm growing. That's where my value is. Instead of like, no, I really honor my comfort zone, and I know that my true success comes out of that, and that success can be every bit as big as my dream is, and bigger. I know that. Is it going to take more time? Probably, but not necessarily. If you are able to truly just embody that without having any resistance in you about people being on board for that or about that working, it'll happen fast. But I personally had to work myself into the belief of that. I didn't believe it right away. So I needed to work myself into the belief over time. And that took some time. June, wow. She had something to add to the conversation, I guess. Where was I? Yeah. So honor your comfort zone. Really honor your comfort zone more than you honor some ideas of the more you push yourself out to the edge and the more uncomfortable you are, the better off you're going to be, or the more you're going to grow, or something like that. Take your comfort zone with you. Access your comfort zone no matter what you do. Then when you're in that space, when your body knows, like, hey, I'm on my own side. Look at that. Wow. I'm on my own side. When your body knows that and your body feels that, you will naturally take those quote unquote uncomfortable steps with ease. Because you'll be carrying that deep safety and security within you. So you'll naturally, you won't need to push yourself anywhere anymore. And there might have been a stage for that. Yeah, sure. Yes. But the more you really honor and trust that, your body's like, okay, she's got my back. Okay. So then you can take those bigger moves or those different moves or those scary moves without so much discomfort, like you're just pushing yourself out over a cliff. There's no need. There's no need to feel like that. And if you're feeling like that, you're pushing yourself. You are making yourself not enough, and you're being unkind and violent to yourself, in my opinion. Because I spent a lot of years doing that. I spent a lot of years trying that, thinking that that was the right way for growth. Like, just that was the right way. Like, get out of your comfort zone. Stop being a freaking baby in your comfort zone and get out of your comfort zone and be uncomfortable. And like, bust and do big, scary things and be scared. And like this really kind of old world approach to success. But the more that I honored and listened to my own comfort zone, and in retrospect, when I look back on my business, everything that I ever did that was the most successful thing was something that honored my comfort zone first. Every single step. Like I said, from changing my prices, to changing retainer prices, to changing how I worked, to changing who I worked with, to changing that I didn't do all the work myself anymore, to changing all of those things. All of those things were about honoring my comfort zone, and they helped me grow. And what I noticed was they grew other people's comfort zone as well. So then when I started working with other people, not only did my clients, but then the people that worked for me or worked with me also received and expanded their comfort. So what I do for me is a ripple effect, and I watch that ripple effect unfold. So if you have any qualms about doing that for you when other people aren't receiving that, you give that to you give that to them by default, because you become permission. You become walking permission for people to lean into that too. All right. I think that's all I wanted to say about comfort zones today. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining me today. And if you'd like to find out more about me and my work, you can find me at sunnychapman.com.